Hello everybody and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program, where we just successfully put a rover on the surface of Vol, and now let's check mission control. See if there's anything we want to do here. Science data from surface of the moon is incredibly easy. From space around Lathe. 40 years to do it, too. Interesting. We're definitely going to take that. Okay, so we need to do science data from surface of the moon, so we'll go grab our stationary science platform on the moon. That one didn't go well. So this one is landed at the moon. We'll go ahead and fly this one. Excellent. And we'll grab ourselves some science data as soon as it has loaded, complete that contract. And then I think, honestly, with the lathe one... Oh my. This is really poorly set up. Go ahead and transmit that. You've got a really crappy Communitron too. Wonderful. Back to the Space Center before that thing manages to rock itself apart and blow itself up. Oh boy, I really should have removed the radiator panel on the bottom on that one. That's what it got caught on, unfortunately. But we got that contract complete, and let's just double check that there isn't anything else in here that we want to do. Science data from surface of Moho. That would be incredibly easy. Okay. Well, we'll just hop over to our rover we've got on Moho. Where are you? Landed at Moho. A Geraldo Mark 1. That's been a while. Well, we're just going to do a quick temperature scan here and satisfy our contract. Once it loads. There we go. I'm surprised the lights are still on, honestly. Okay, where is our temperature scanner? Specifically want to do the thermometer because it is the least amount of data and we're less likely to run out of space, or rather electricity. So go ahead and log the temperature, transmit that data. There we go. Contract complete. How much do... Holy crap, we almost made 200k space bucks for that. That pays for that rover right there. That's nice. We have, of course, finished up the tech tree, so we don't really care too much about science, but it does make us money. So that's nice. So I think, because we got that contract for Lathe, that will be our next target. So let's go ahead and pull open our Odd One Mark 5 or Odd One Mark 6? I forget. Mark 5. Okay. So this thing can definitely get to Lathe. We don't need to do anything with it. Let's just go ahead and launch it. It's fine as it is. So we do not care about circularization as far as the MechJeb launching goes. We do not care about several things. Force roll. Don't really care too much about inclination. We can do corrective steering, don't do force roll, skip circularization, engage autopilot. Let's go. Easy peasy. And off we go. This is, of course, one of our lighter lifters. I say a light lifter, but it's running 3 mainsails. Oh, this is so wasteful. But I just don't care about money anymore. Quick question, MechJeb. Why are you rolling in this way? Just go ahead and get the roll like this. There. That's how I'm used to seeing it. That's how I design my ships to anticipate that it's going to be. Just leave it like that, MechJeb. Just leave it like that. If we have force roll on, then it just starts doing some weird gyrations, and I don't want to deal with that, so I'll just fix the roll myself as we go up. It'll be fine. So this will just be a simple orbital insertion. We're probably just going to go for an equatorial orbit. I don't see any reason to go for anything else unless an opportunity presents itself. I mean, we could theoretically, I suppose, go for a polar orbit if we happen to enter the system at the correct longitude. So there is that. It's always a possibility. And off go our side boosters. They only took off one tail fin. That's nice. I wish they hadn't taken off the tail fin, but it's fine. Whatever. They also kind of impacted each other. Okay, well, we are off to Lathe. I'll be manually deploying the fairing at about 50 kilometers. It'll be fine. Now, this thing does have a pair of Gigantors on it. It also has an RTG inside. So we should theoretically have a constant stream of energy, but it'll be kind of a mediocre stream of energy. So transmitting back could be interesting, shall we say. I'm going to go ahead and deploy our fairing. Save us that little bit of weight. Ah, I should have removed our monopropellant. Oh well, we'll probably use the monopropellant right now. Well, at least some of it. There we go. We'll use some of that monopropellant. How much do we have left? Most of it. Okay. Well, as soon as we get to space, we are skipping circularization, so we're just going to create a really quick prograde node at the apoapsis. And it'll be about 1600 meters per second. And that will get us out of the system. Actually, what do we got going on here? Less than 1600 meters per second. Oh, right. This is a different payload. Okay, let's see what we got. We need more than that. So, about 1300 meters per second. That's not bad. Okay, go ahead and execute that node, MechJeb, with the maneuver planner. Execute next node. Fantastic. Gonna physics warp the turn, since that can occasionally take a while. And I'm just going to burn off the monopropellant that I really shouldn't have brought during this burn, so that we're not carrying it too far. Hopefully it'll stretch our fuel a little bit. I mean, our fuel is pretty overkill, but I'm gonna just go ahead and burn off all the monopropellant. It'll make us get there just that little bit faster. Really wish I could physics warp right now, but that is not an option, unfortunately. We are now officially in orbit. Don't really care. We're just burning prograde. We're just escaping. That's the only goal here. And we're just going to continue burning monopropellant with these burns until we're out of monopropellant. So when the burn is almost done, I'll stop using monopropellant, sure. But we're just going to continue burning it off. No need carrying it. No need accelerating monopropellant that we don't need. I really should have removed it. It did not happen. Oh well. We've burned almost half of it. Okay, I'm going to stop burning monopropellant now. And turn off RCS. We are in escape velocity. Excellent. And looks like we will be escaping right about here. A little further. Right about here. So I'm just going to go ahead and warp forward until we have escaped. Which will be, you know, here in 12 days. Be going a lot faster if it wasn't constantly stuttering all of a sudden. It was not doing that a little bit ago. Guess it's time for another restart of the game. Oh well, that's fine. This is the last episode in my recording session, so it'll be completely fine. We'll just wrap this up pretty quick. 3 days. 2 days. 1 day. Okay. We will be escaping very, very shortly. There we go. So we're just going to set Jewel as our target, and because I'm once again feeling lazy, we are just going to match planes with target with MechJeb, create and execute. Easy peasy. Could do it manually, but I'm just too lazy. Can't be bothered. I am going to physics warp this turn. Make that go just a wee bit faster. Hopefully we can get this satellite inserted this episode. That would be nice. 204.6 meters per second on the inclination change. That's not bad. A lot harder on dress. It takes about 800 meters per second. Excellent. So we've got about 120 days to kill, and then we can get our inclination change done, and then we can start working on our intercept orbit with Jewel. So as far as the Hohmann transfer there goes, I think the goal is probably going to be something along the lines of what we had before, except inside of the Vol orbit. Like, that was a really nice orbit. That was like right out here. So if we could get one that's like right here, that would be basically ideal. I believe Lathe is equatorial. Yes, it is. So we shouldn't need to do anything really, other than maybe a minor inclination change, which I'm sure we'll do. Okay, so I'm going to help out this burn with the monopropellant again. RCS on. There we go. Burn off some monopropellant so we're not carrying it. No more RCS. We've still got over half, but we'll be able to burn it off in our Hohmann transfer. There's no way we have enough in this tank for our Hohmann transfer, and the nuclear engine needs all the help it can get. So let's go ahead and do a Hohmann transfer to target. Create node. Nice. It gave us that encounter again. I want to bring that in a little bit closer. So let's just bring it in retrograde slightly. About there is basically perfect. Could not ask for better. We'll have a slight inclination. We can fix that. Execute that node. Super happy with that node. Of course, we are going to have a very, very long warp time to actually get there, but our burn node is only in 55 days, so that's not bad. And we'll be able to burn off the rest of our monopropellant. Absolutely fantastic. Goodbye, son. We're going away from you. Don't actually see Jewel yet. I'm sure it's visible, but kind of hard to pick out against the background sometimes. Okay, let's get started with this burn, shall we, MechJeb? Now is fine. Yep, okay, RCS. And let's blow off some monopropellant. And we will be ditching our core stage momentarily. There we go. It stopped going down up here in MechJeb, which was a little weird, but whatever. Okay, so yeah, I'm going to go ahead and physics warp up this burn, now that we actually can physics warp the burn. Excellent. And we will be out of monopropellant soon, so that is also excellent. Don't want to be carrying that. I mean, it's not like it weighs a lot, but it's still wasted space. I really should have removed it. It's twice in a row now. Okay, monopropellant is gone. So now we've just got a 12-minute burn here. And once we're here, we'll just circularize at this periapsis. Easy peasy. We are coming in this direction, which is interesting. So we are going opposite of Lathe. We'll fix that when we are doing our circularization. That'll be fine. No problem whatsoever. We've got plenty of delta V for that. We'll just invert our orbit on the way through. We could do it right now, but and it would be more fuel efficient to do it right now during this burn, but I don't want to, so we won't. We've got just ridiculous amounts of fuel, so we're completely fine. I'm not at all worried about running out of fuel. All we need is science data from space around Lathe as well. We do not need to achieve a specific orbit, so that's nice. Unlike this one, which was very interesting, we had to achieve a stationary orbit above a certain point of Joule, which was kind of a fascinating experience. I had never done that one before, but we pulled it off, and it was glorious. Are we going to need an inclination change? Not much of one. We'll need an inclination change, probably. Unless I don't want this to be equatorial. Which I kind of do want it to be equatorial, so we'll need an inclination change. We could do that possibly as part of this same burn, but no. I'm going to do it as two separate burns. We'll get this insertion done. Call it a day. Nice and easy. So we've got about another minute here on this burn, a little under. Not too bad. And then we've got about 1 million years of warp time. And that's going to suck. I'm going to go ahead and get that started while setting up our maneuver node over here, because we definitely want to invert our direction of this orbit. Since Lathe is going this way, we don't want to be going this way, really, because we're going to have to do a huge amount of braking. That delta V will have to be paid one way or another, and I'd rather pay it here, rather than trying to pay it during our Lathe encounter. So all things considered, yeah, I think this is going to be fine. We'll warp to right here as soon as we're done with this burn, and then I'll start setting up our circularization. Right about... yeah, there's the flip right there. See, we could have saved the delta V. It's fine, though. But go ahead and warp there. And in the meantime, at this periapsis, I'm going to go ahead and burn retrograde extremely significantly. More significantly than that. Okay. So, let's see here. We are still going to be going the wrong direction here. So we need to continue burning retrograde until we go into Joule. And we flip it. Oh my, look at this delta V requirement. Okay. So that's a thing. It's fine. It'll be fine. We've still got stupid amounts of delta V available. But you know, maybe we should go just for a braking maneuver at Lathe. We'll have much better thrust to weight there, so even if we have to pay the same amount of delta V, we'll be able to do it faster. So maybe we just do this. Yeah, ultimately I think that's fine. Maybe. Can we get an encounter with Lathe? I mean, it's too early to really be worrying about that right now, I think. Let's just hold it here. Call it a day. Right about like that. Okay, execute that node. I'm going to go ahead and slash the auto time warp and let MechJeb do a time warp of its very, very own. Physics warp the turn, and in we come. So we have to have about 1 year and 330 days of time warp here. I'm not kidding when I say that this is a long ways away and that it requires a lot of time warping. But we are about halfway there now. We've already passed the orbit of Dress. So that's fantastic. We'll be connecting up over here pretty soon. We are at maximum time warp. Unfortunately, there is no higher time warp than this. It is truly truly unfortunate. Is that just an artifact, or is that supposed to be like radiation belts or something? I don't know. I think it's just an artifact. So we could invert our orbit, but that's going to be a very, very large amount of burning with our very inefficient, time-inefficient engine. And I think I'd rather go for the braking maneuver over lathe. If we're going retrograde over lathe, that's completely fine. So I don't think we need to invert our orbit at all. This way we'll be able to burn primarily, if not exclusively, with our nuclear engine. So all things considered, I think this is just a much, much better idea. We've got ourselves another 400 days, about a year. And I would set lathe as a target and start looking at inclinations, but there is no way I'm ever going to click on that. That's just not going to end well. Hey, I got it. Okay, set as target. Yeah, see, we're going the wrong way, but we're only about 1.1 degrees off in our inclination. So that's actually just fine. We can go retrograde, and then we can fix our inclination inside of Lathe's orbit, where our thrust to weight is much higher. Yeah, that should be completely fine. We've only got about 200 days more in this time warp. So here we come. We are almost into the sphere of influence of Joule. Of course, I was planning on this initially to be a massively far-flung communication satellite, like way out here. Like, way out here. But, then we got this contract for Lathe, and might as well do it, since we're planning on putting something in orbit over Lathe anyway. Okay, we are now over Joule. We're now technically in the Joule system, which is great. I have no idea. Oh, there's Joule. Hi, Joule. And there's all of its moons. Just going about their business, I guess. Excellent. Okay, so we will be making this burn momentarily. This will be about a minute burn. I'm gonna go ahead and turn off RCS. No need to have that on. Physics warp on up for the burn. Okay, it'll be closer to a 2-minute burn. Well, it looks like we're probably not going to get this inserted this episode, unfortunately. Unless I make the episode go over. I could do that. It is the end of my recording session after all. I'd like to get this wrapped up so that I can start something new in the next session. That would be nice. Okay, so we are now officially having all of that happen. Lots of moon encounters that we're not amazingly interested in right now. Specifically, a lot of Vol encounters, I think? No, those are Tylo encounters. Okay, that's a Vol encounter. And that's just a big mess. Oh, the gravity assists that you can get out of this are insane. But we're just trying to circularize our orbit right now. So let's just go ahead and do that, shall we? No more encounters. Next, I want to match planes with target. That'll be the next step. And then we'll do a Hohmann transfer. And then we'll just insert it in nice and easy, equatorial. Theoretically, this shouldn't go too much over time. 200 meters per second to go. That was actually a Vol encounter right there. We do, of course, need a Lathe encounter, so that will require a bit more delta V. Excellent. Create and execute. So this is going to be... Oh, wait. No. Change inclination to just be 180 degrees. We don't want to match planes. We want to just change the inclination. We're going opposite direction, so our inclination is flipped 180 degrees. Because we are going this way, and lathe is going this way. So inclination is flipped 180 degrees. Lathe is at an inclination of 0, correct? Doesn't actually say. Okay, lathe is at an inclination of 0, I assume. So we want to be at an inclination of 180 to match that. There we go. Excellent. So let's go ahead and burn that. Only 52 meters per second, as opposed to 5,000 meters per second to actually match planes with it. So let's just home and transfer to target, create node. And do we have an encounter here? We do not. Well, let's see about finding... Come on, let me grab it. Let's see about finding one here. There's one. Excellent. That'll do. Execute that node. Apparently MechJeb doesn't do retrograde orbits well. Good to know. So, realistically, I do actually want to abort this node execution right now, and I want to raise this node as high as we can. So, about 3 million kilometers looks like. That'll be fine. 3 million kilometers. 3,000 kilometers. 3 million meters. So right about there. That'll do. Execute that node. Now, how long are we going to be in this? 1 hour 48 minutes, 1 hour 54 minutes. Only a couple of minutes. So we're going to have to do a really quick braking maneuver. And I don't exactly know how much delta V that will require since we're going retrograde. But it should be about the same as usual, so I think we'll be fine. And our thrust to weight ratio over lathe will be much, much higher. So we'll be able to get this done relatively easily. Then we'll just reset our inclination once we're in here and call it a day. Excellent. Add maneuver. Retrograde. Oh my. Oh my. Yeah, so that's going to take a lot. We don't need to be quite that low. Just circularize it right around here. That's kind of expected. Like I said, the delta V has to be paid any way you slice it. Our inclination will be fine. So we're just going to need to burn this quite extensively. Like, we're going to need a very early burn here. Go ahead and execute that node. I'm not sure we're going to be within Lathe's orbit for long enough. That's the thing. We'll see. We'll see what it gives us. Okay, let's go ahead and warp there. And we'll be making this burn soon. Here we come. We need to make this burn basically now. We're not in the sphere of influence of Lathe yet, which is a little amusing. But we absolutely need to get this burn done. So this is going to be a 22-minute burn. We've got 9 minutes left in our nuclear engine stage. Of course, we've got plenty of delta V left in our electric propulsion system. But the thrust to weight on that is just abysmal. So we're just going to burn off everything we've got here, and we'll see how we get. This should be enough-ish. Let's see, we'll be in the lathe sphere of influence in 5 minutes. So that's good. And then we should theoretically probably break out of the lathe sphere of influence during this burn. Maybe. I think is what's going to happen. But we should re-encounter lathe as we finish the burn. However, this is going to be very, very lengthy indeed. So I really hate to do this, but I think I'm going to put a cut in here. And next episode, we'll see what happens with this encounter. Hopefully it works. I'll see you all then, I guess.